State your name and address.
Yes, Alex Crony, 511 Heber Avenue, Calexico. Mayor, for us about the ordinance, can you be a little, can you expand a little more on what you say, clean up the sidewalks? What does this mean to a store owner? And what did they get excited for?
I can't speak directly for code enforcement. I don't know if Armando has any clarification. The code enforcement officer is the one who brought this to my attention. My assumption from reading this was that it was people who had boxes and people who were maybe having sidewalk sales when they weren't allowed. Essentially, if you're the business owner and the sidewalk in front of your business space is obstructed with boxes, with things like that, my understanding from the code enforcement officers and the way they proceed is that they go out there and give a warning the first time. If you don't clean the boxes and whatever you have in front of your store, then they start the citation procedure, which is $100, $200, $500, and $1,000.
Honorable Mayor and City Council, we almost brought up on downtown Calexico and seeing that our downtown riches are faced with a tremendous economic crisis. I think we can better use our staff to looking for codes and charging more money. Recently you guys brought up your meter tickets. I mean, not the meter tickets, but the meter amount from 25 cents to 50 cents. That's 100%. A lot of people are either local consumers or consumers from Mexicali. They say, why shop downtown? Only get ticketed because as you leave your car to try to get a quarter to put in the meter, boom, you got a ticket. So it's $15 plus whatever you put in the meter. So I believe we need to really focus more on helping our downtown merchants. Help them, don't be looking for finding them, bringing up the meters, because it's costing us. And a lot of times I hear staff, they say, hey, look, we want a better looking city. Sure, we want a better looking city. I drove through the San Luis Port of Entry the other day. Every block, downtown block, had sidewalk sales. Why? Because how do you stimulate? People are looking for bargains today. And sometimes that bargain they find in the sidewalk lures them inside the store. Let's help them. Let's be their partner. Let's not really take away from them. Instead of looking for more codes, start looking to help. It really aggravates me to see this happen.
I think the intent was like an empty box, not the one with merchandise for sale.
No, but it's a little of everything, Luis. I hear it. I heard it when I was in city council. I was always an advocate for sales. My parents did sidewalk sales. Almost every store in town did their sidewalk sales. It was our bargain merchandise.
Did they clean up?
Yes, we cleaned up. But let them have their sidewalk sales. I would challenge the city council. Once in a while, walk downtown, talk to the merchants, and probably some do, but they're hurting, and this on the meters again, that minimal thing of bringing it up from 25 cents to 50 cents. It's a big thing too. So let's I guess focus a little more. The other day I had a little talk with Ralph, because one of our merchants, not downtown, in the mall, put in a banner in the storefront. He got a warning that was going to be cited. If I'm a business person on a private mall, don't tell me how to run my business. I know what I need to do to make it prosperous. So the city, again, don't focus on menial things. Let's focus on the bigger things. Let's help our merchants. Thank you.
Do we know the intent of is this something we had already on the books? We changed it?
I'm just going to mention that the intent is not to bring up the content of the ordinance, I need to clean up the amount.
So this ordinance was already in place since when?
It's already in place.
Since when?
It looks like 1960 was the first time this was adopted, and then it was amended in 1999.
1989. It was amended in 1989. Or come to council?
No.
So in essence, we just give you an idea, code enforcement doesn't give them a ticket right away, there's actually a
But it's not, we're not talking about sidewalk sales. We're talking about trash and boxes.
just clean up.
So if this isn't part of the agenda, but if we look at sidewalk sales and things that were mentioned, but we're participating in allowing them to do sidewalk sales, but we're also saying, hey, you better clean up after you have your sidewalk sale. I think that would be a fair thing to do, if we allow them to do that. So, but this particular language is just to clean up the enforcement when they leave the trash and they leave the boxes out on the street. Correct?
And the alleys as well.
And the alleys? All right. Well, I'd like to make a motion to approve item 14. Do I have a second?
Second for discussion.
Second for discussion.
Can you clarify what Gene is? I mean, one of the things, and I want to reiterate Mr. Perone's concern. And one of the things, everything is relevant. What is clean? Like, for example, the retail merchants, I guess, are trying to catch the eye of the public or the buying public, and they have the racks out there. What is it that the inspector is looking for that would, I guess, consider to have a consideration to leave a warning, and even more so, an actual fine?
That's a difficult question. The city does allow sidewalk sales on Wednesdays. And then in the month of December, for the entire month, the city allows sidewalk sales in downtown. Again, the intent of the ordinance was to be able to line up our administrative citation ordinance that basically establishes a fine if you don't comply, to align it with the language in this ordinance that says we have conflicting amounts. One is $150 fine, and one is $100 fine. Really, the intent is not for you to give us an allowance to go out there and start making judgments on the sidewalk. It's just basically just to align and make these two amounts consistent.
Is this, if I may answer Councilman Bill's question, is this mostly when this ordinance is effective after hours? Not during the day when they're selling things,
It's all the time. And I think the ordinance is not limited to downtown. It's citywide. You can be anywhere. If you're a business owner, you can look out. If you don't carry the frontage, you have to do a visit. And again, you give them plenty of chances. What is a violation, second warning.
but it has nothing to do with selling, it's most the cleaning up. But again, what is maybe can we define empty box?
Is there, like, photographs taken when, or is it just by what the inspector sees? I guess that the thing is that if it needs to be increased, it needs to be increased, but right now, where an inspector happens to be coming around the corner, and they just happen to leave a box, they walk in, they come back out, the inspector's writing up by citation, either a warning or a citation. I guess I am concerned of where the language of clean is what the inspector, because it's really up to the inspector, right? Up to their own criteria.
And let me just add this though, everyone who's cited under the administrative citation procedure is entitled to a hearing. And the city, I don't know if Nene Torres is the hearing officer on administrative citations. I know he is right for administrative citations. They come before a hearing and they get to, essentially Nene is the judge at that point, and they get to tell their side of the story. The code enforcement officer comes and shows whatever pictures the code enforcement officer has, and it's, up to whoever the hearing officer is to say,